Once we have our CO2 tank properly sized and selected, we then focus our attention on the CO2 distribution and the life safety equipment required in each room. The CO2 tank sits at about 300 psi. The pressure regulator downstream will drop that to our supply pressure of between 80 and 120 psi. This is typically copper piping that runs down the length of your hallway. It then drops into each one of the rooms. This is typically a 1/2 inch copper and goes to a CO2 enrichment manifold. The purpose of this manifold is to drop the pressure down to about 40 psi, as well as providing a 24-volt VAC solenoid for your control system to control the CO2. There's also a flow meter with a adjustment there, allowing you to control the flow rate based on the room dynamics. How big is your space? How small is the space? Distribution is up to you. A lot of people will put this into their HVAC supply duct. You can put it into airflow systems in racking. You can also do a under canopy airflow system where you pump CO2 directly up into the canopy. The life safety system consists of one or more sensors that are 12 inches off the ground, measuring CO2 kind of where it's going to accumulate. You have the horn and strobe that are required to give an alert outside of every single room or every single doorway. You also have some integration equipment that allows triggering the exhaust fan and triggering these safety isolation valves. The fire code requires you to alert at 2 different alarm points, 5,000 parts per million and 30,000 parts per million. At each one of these alarm points, we must isolate the CO2 supply, do horn and strobes alerting, and then kick on the exhaust fan. So at 5,000 parts per million, the lowest alert, the first thing we're going to do is isolate the CO2 supply at the room level. This allows the rest of the rooms to continue operating while we just isolate the room that's in trouble. At the 30,000 parts per million, if we hit that, we'll isolate the whole entire facility at the tank. Applying this back to our example facility, we have 6 rooms total. Each room will need an enrichment manifold, a CO2 safety sensor, a power integration panel, and a room safety isolation valve. We'll also have a main tank safety shutoff valve per facility.